football games in the great state of Wyoming. He's going to check in live as he's going to talk about some of the high school football that he has seen up there. And I told him he's got one job up there, and that is find an Inland Empire connection to high school football in Wyoming. So he's working on that. We're going to talk to Cullen a little bit later in the show. But right now, join us live from, I'm sure it's a beautiful home. It is the great Nick Matheny. He is the head football coach for the Summit Skyhawks, a dear, dear friend of the show. First off, Coach, how are you? How's the family? How's everybody doing?
You know, I think we're hanging in there. I'd be lying if there wasn't. Daddy didn't say there wasn't a tad bit of a cabin fever going on here. My wife and I, we have 3 kids. We have an 8-year-old son, a 5-year-old son, and a 2-year-old son. So, you know, the first day of school was a little interesting. I'm online teaching PE online of all things, and the boys were trying to get their schooling done, and we're actually expecting another one here in November. So life is definitely still going on despite the lockdown.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the baby on the way. So if the baby's due in November, you actually don't have to negotiate the birth of your child and a football game. Like, you can just be home and enjoy the new baby and be around your family, because football won't start till January. I guess if you're looking for silver lining, that is a big positive.
One of my good buddies gave me a hard time. Says, you're the reason why football season's been postponed, because you never have kids during football season. We had a good laugh at that, but no, we couldn't be happier. To welcome our daughter here in a few months, or a couple months now. But yeah, we're excited.
Well, Coach, congratulations to you and your wife and the entire family. That is very exciting, because, again, we will not have high school football until January. January 8th would be that first Friday night of high school football here in the southern section, the Inland Empire included. So when you saw the CIF roll out its new calendar for all the sports, and you saw football was going to be basically a winter sport starting in January, what was your initial thoughts? Any first impressions when you saw the new calendar for football?
Well, if I remember right, the junior colleges came out just a few days earlier.
Yes.
And we figured the models were going to be similar. So I don't want to say that we expected that. I mean, the Lord only knows with stuff like this, definitely uncharted waters, but we're kind of expecting a January start date. I was expecting one of the two, either a January or like an October or somewhere in there, or maybe even a November. But, you know, I'm excited. This entire process, my defensive coordinator, Mark Mercado, who's just a great guy and a great friend, and our assistant head coach, Jeff McCarthy, both kind of told me, kind of put me in my place, said, hey, man, stop stressing. Everybody's in the same boat. And let's do whatever it is you're going to do. We're all going to get behind you and do it. So since those two conversations, I think our theme has kind of been, let's make a turn whatever negative gets thrown out of us into a positive. So I think our staff has done a really good job with the kids and the entire time. I think if we erred at all, we erred on the side of too much. You know, we're meeting 5 days a week there at one point. And so with no, light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. So we feel like we did a really good job in the off season. The kids responded really well. I mean, you got to work through the technical issues. You got to work through. We got sent home from school, and then there was spring break. So we didn't know, like, the day we left, we didn't know whether we'd be back on Monday, whether we'd be back 2 weeks from now. So it was very difficult to have any type of plan moving forward. So we had to track everybody down, get a hold of them. And I think our community did a really good job with that. So we're just plugging away, man. I sure miss being around everybody, though. You know, the camaraderie that's built within a football team and a football program is something I definitely miss.
Do you think, Coach, when you actually get back to practices, when you're around the team, that you might enjoy it a little bit more because we've missed it for so long?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of the same thing at home. Another great friend of the program, right? Me and Coach Vinny Fazio, talk quite a bit. And one of the things we both said is, like, we never get this time. The amount of hikes and walks and different things I've been able to do with the kids has been great. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see them in school and doing their assignments with the teacher and not me. But we are moving on to multiplication, Pep. So I think with this. The original Common Core math was over my head, but I mean, definitely. What I'm hoping is that we can operate the way we would normally operate, right? So, we do an overnight camp at the school. We've done it every year since I've been a head coach, except one, I think. How cool would it be to have a team get together on New Year's Day and watch the bowl games, right? If there's bowl games, or something like that. I mean, we're just going to try and find a way to do that. And the kind of first way we did it was Jason from Ken Sporting Goods and I came up with these ideas for these shirts that say winter is coming, and we put palm trees on them with snow on the palm trees, and just try to find a way to build some enthusiasm for football coming in this unique time. I mean, maybe we'll buy coaches jackets this year. I don't know. We never have a need for them before. So it's something, I'm looking forward to being back with the guys. I know how bad they miss it, and we have a good group. We're a young group. We have a good group coming through, and I just hope that they can get the best experience they can. Watching the baseball guys, especially at Summit, get their season canceled last year was brutal. They had a great team. I mean, I was kind of optimistic they had a shot to win the whole thing, and not even play, 8 games or something. I think I checked in on Coach Lopez, our baseball coach, Sammy Lopez, like every other day. He's like, dude, I'm fine. I'm going to make it. We're excited, and I think we will. I definitely think, especially at first.
Well, Coach, I did see those sweaters from Ken Sporting Goods. Winter is coming, which I guess it seems like a long ways away, like January 8th being that first Friday night of high school football, but it really, here we are in September, like it really isn't that far. What do you think the next couple of months might look like as you get ready for the football season? Do you think, because again, off the top of the show, we said there's some school districts, setting dates now when the teams can resume their workouts and practices to get ready for the year. I mean, do you think the fall might look like the spring? I mean, do you think we might have 7-on-7? Do you think we might have helmets and pads earlier than December? Like, what do you think the next couple of months might look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's hard to answer because we don't know. I mean, is San Marino County going to be one of the last ones to get added off the watch list, or however all this is going to shake down? We just don't know. And individual districts kind of have their right, I guess, to allow you to get back or not. So I'm not sure. When we were talking to the kids, we said, look, regardless of what happens, right? The day that we get the go ahead, the day, if we're going to get 2 weeks before a game, which it won't be that, right? But whenever we get the go ahead, we are going to work so hard it's gonna make their head spin. And I mean in every aspect. I mean, we're going to be on the field as much as we can. We're going to run as much as we can. We're going to lift as much as we can. Whatever we have to do to prepare with the time allotted to us is what we're going to do. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Will we be throwing 7-on-7s the week after Thanksgiving? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. All I know is that when we do get the chance to get back on the grass, there's going to be a hell of a lot of energy from our staff and what we're going to require the kids and the families too. I mean, we're going to have to fundraise. I mean, there's all this time, typically your season ends, right? Better seasons end later, obviously, but November, maybe if it's a great season into December, and then you start fundraising in February, right? For the season and do all these things. All those things are kind of null and void. So the things, there's a lot of moving parts to a football season other than just practice. So it's going to be interesting to see how we all adapt. I just get I've had this dream a few times where I wake up and everybody's been practicing but us. I wake up and it's like the middle of the night. I'm sweating. I'm like, what's going on? I'm pissed at my AD, and then I wake up and I realize, it's a dream. So
I think you might not be the only football coach having that dream. I think everyone almost feels a sense of guilt, like I should be doing something right now. Like, why are we not getting ready for something? But Coach, let me ask you about the group that you got coming back. I mean, 8-3, 4-1 in league play a season ago. That was a good season for Summit. Talk about the group that you have coming back and kind of the expectations you have this year, which is a new Arrowhead conference. Your San Andreas League. Talk about your team.
Yeah. So, coming back, we have a very small group of seniors. I think we have 6 or 7 seniors. And they're all, and the cool thing is, 2 years ago we were 4-7, right? tough go. Just it didn't look like Summit football. But with that being said, we worked really hard in I'm gonna mess the years up here. 2019, right, to kind of right the ship. And last year's group will probably go down as one of my favorite groups I ever coached. Just an outstanding group of kids. A lot of 4-year seniors, which is not the case very often anymore, right? There's with the transfer game going on. So we were very fortunate last year to have a great group of seniors, and I think their influence on the team is now taken over, right? So before we went on the lockdowns, I mean, the vibe in the weight room was great. Everybody was on time. Everybody was working hard and in dress code and all these different things that we ask of the kids that maybe some places don't deem important, but before we went, it was great. So with that being said, we have some really good leadership. We have a couple offensive linemen, senior Jeremy Tibbles, who's a returning starter. He got hurt at the Catella game, and I think that's kind of when things started going south for us. And then as well, Robert Bocanegra, he's another offensive lineman, senior, started since the sophomore year. He actually got hurt at Catella 2 years ago. So both of them, hopefully don't go back there. Bad luck for those.
I was going to ask you that. What's the deal with Catella? You keep seeing those guys in the playoffs.
Well, you know what? Coach DePalma retired, so hopefully maybe that was a thing. But yeah, I don't. They're a great team. We were up at halftime both games, so both really tough losses. But and then to be honest with you, we're young. I mean, obviously with only 6 seniors on the team, we're young as a whole. We have a couple. We have a great. We think he's going to be a great sophomore coming up. His name is Jeremiah Beck. He's probably like about 6'4", about 200 pounds, like tight end, split end, receiver type guy. Going to play outside linebacker for us. Very smart player. He also started on the baseball team as a freshman. And then, kind of one of our top guys at the skill position too is Devin James. He started as a freshman for us in the second half of the season, and then started as a sophomore, and then coming into his junior year now. So he's going to carry the ball. He's going to play fullback and the second back. He's a really smart football player. And then, even in the younger classes, you start working down into like those sophomore grades. We have some studs coming up, but we have a couple our freshman class. I don't know them yet because I haven't done anything with them, but when we're on these Zoom, we use Microsoft Teams instead of Zoom, but our Teams meeting, there's some good looking dudes in there. I mean, there's a couple kids that are 6'3", 6'4". Their cousins, Aiden and Isaiah Hall. I mean, I've never seen them do anything other than push-ups and sit-ups and air squats on our meetings, but they're good looking dudes. We actually, I don't know if you remember Mike Clark, used to be the head coach at Eisenhower High School.
Yeah.
He's on staff with us now and teaching at Summit, and his son is going to be a freshman quarterback. His name is Peyton Clark. So we're excited about him. Peyton Clark. So since he got on on our teams and all that stuff, he broke down. So however long that's been, he broke down every pass play we had last year.
Are you serious?
And where we threw the ball, and it was like a coach. Like I was like, Mike, did you do this, man? Come on. And no, it was a kid. He did it all, and it was pretty impressive. So, and then we have a freshman running back that looks the part too, man. His name is Sitani Mikaele, and he's about 215 pounds or so, 210 maybe, and looks pretty explosive. So like I said, from what I've seen on the screen here, maybe even fast forward, I don't know, but
through the computer.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. Definitely, we're going to be young, so we're going to make some young mistakes. We have a absolutely brutally difficult schedule. We had to shuffle some teams around, and it didn't get any easier. So we got a brutal schedule. It's going to be a really tough schedule. But hey, what the hell? Why not?
Bring it on, right?
As crazy as it can get. Let's go play the toughest schedule we ever had.
Right now, I think the victory is just getting on the field, right? Getting on the field, let's play some real games in January. Yep. That's the victory. Absolutely. Coach, listen, I always appreciate your time. I'm glad, listen, you got a baby on the way. You are mastering multiplication. You are a Zoom expert. Like, look at all the things you've accomplished.
Coach, I tell you what, man, I've got my serious home ec game going right now. I'm did some meal prepping this weekend. I mean, I'm fired up. I'm doing some cooking, limited, so but Oh man, it's great. Like I said, I appreciate this time here with my family, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting to see our guys in person and all those little things that you missed. The kid that hits his max in the weight room, or the kid that nails his 40 time he's been shooting for forever, or even stuff in the classroom, the kid that aces the test, or just made grades by the skin of his teeth and he's been going to study hall for a month. Those are the things I think we all probably missed the most.
Well, we all love our families, but we all love football. We're ready for some football, and hopefully it's right around the corner. That is the great Nick Matheny, Summit Skyhawks head coach, joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. Great to see you, Coach, even though it's through Zoom, but great to see you, and hopefully we can catch up again soon.
You got it. You tell Colin Holt, that was my first camera, televised, whatever, YouTube interview was with that dude.
That was. I do remember that. He's up in Wyoming, man. He was following the football. He went north.
Yeah, good for him, man. We all, I think I speak for all the high school coaches when I say we appreciate what you do. And, there's with newspapers kind of not being what they used to be anymore and all that, the coverage that you do for these kids is really important. So we appreciate you, man, more than you ever know, probably.
Well, it's very kind of you, Coach. I do appreciate that. And congratulations with the baby on the way to you and your wife. And hopefully the next time I see you, it'll be on a sideline at a practice or a game.
Man. You got it, brother.
All right, that's Nick Matheny, head football coach at Summit High School here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we will talk more high school football. I told you we're going to blow it out, high school football, on this show. Join us live in studio. He is the head coach at Orange Vista, the great Greg Zomalt. He's coming up next on the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Need an oil change? Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Family owned and operated. They're committed to our community. There's 2 locations, so there's one close to you. Off the 91 freeway at Arlington and off the 215 freeway at Alessandro. Oil changes are very important, so make sure you swing by. It only takes 10 minutes, and you can do a lot more than just have your oil changed. How about new wiper blades? How about an air filter? Plus many more services such as radiator and transmission. Find out more information at 2getspoiled.com. Don't wait. Get spoiled today. The number 1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Kin Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Kin Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kinsportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Kin Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Kin Sporting Goods. We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it, but we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on a Wednesday night. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube or our social media platforms, make sure you give us a follow. We'd appreciate it. Now join us as we talk more high school football. We're leading up to the season. He is the head football coach at Orange Vista High School, one of our dear friends, and he's live in studio. It is the great Greg Zomalt. And Coach Zomal, first off, listen, I love your mom. Your brother's okay too. Like, you got such a great football family. How's everyone doing? How are the Zomalts?
Zomalts are doing good. Man. We're living in a crazy time right now, and we're trying to keep our sanity within that. So, but man, the family's good. We're healthy. We're safe. We're happy. We're excited to, kind of get out the house and and do different stuff. But yeah, we're doing good.
You have been coaching and playing football for a long time, and here we are in September, and I feel guilty. I feel like I should be doing something. It's Friday night's coming, and I'm like, I got no plans. I got nowhere to go. No place to be. How weird is it being a lifelong football guy, just feeling like, man, what is going on? It's September. It's the fall. We should be doing something.
It's like being in the twilight zone, man. Yeah. It's like, for me, I've been coaching football since 1993. I've been coaching high school since 97. So September 2nd is like major for me, and so it's really like having your world kind of turned upside down, initially, and then now we're still kind of going through it, as far as not being able to play football now. So yes, it's very unsettling, man. But it's good for us to learn, the adults to learn, as well as teaching the kids to learn, man, that life happens. Stuff happens, and so it's been important to kind of keep my mind straight, and just take it all in, man, and just adjust and adapt and keep it moving.
So with football starting in January, I'm going to assume it's going to be cold. It could be very, very wet. You love to run the football. Has it crossed your mind that you thought, okay, could be cold and wet. This is going to play right into our game plan of running the football at Orange Vista?
Yes, definitely. It's what we call playoff weather.
Yeah.
And I would always kind of get the kids fired up and remind them that that's really why you run the ball, is so when you get into the playoffs and you get those games where you might not be able to throw the ball and it's slippery and all that crazy stuff happens. So I kind of look forward to, secretly, I don't know if I'm kind of looking forward to kind of starting the season. What's crazy is the playoff weather is going to be nice this year. So,
I know, right?
So it'll be reversed, kind of flipped on that. But it definitely crossed my mind, and I'm definitely looking forward to the change and the opportunity to kind of start the season in that mode of, we got to run the ball.
Yeah. Well, I've got your non-league schedule up right here because, man, you got a tough non-league schedule. You're going to open with Redlands, Palm Springs, Kaiser, Citrus Valley, and Beaumont.
Yeah,
there's the Sunbelt League in the Rain Cross Conference. Coach, that's tough. And those are your league games. I haven't even got to your league games. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the league. Yeah, man, we've been open. Last year was my first full 4-year graduating class of seniors, so we've been open 4 full years. And trying to develop a program and trying to get the kids excited about playing and stepping up their game and stuff. So I think one of the ways we have to do that is by stepping up the competition. And nothing against the schools that we played before, but I think it was appropriate for us to play some programs that weren't, powerhouses. But looking at like Citrus Valley and Kaiser and Palm Springs, those
heavy
are
hitters.
Beaumont, those are all good. Redlands, those are all like traditional programs and really strong programs with really good coaches, man, that really know what they're doing and stuff. So I think, man, it's time for us to kind of step into a different lane.
I was going to say, like, as a young program, does that feel like the logical next step? Like, hey, we've had some success.
Yes.
We've had some success, but what's that next step?
Yes. You prepare so much for the season. I say we prepare, for 10 days out of the year plus playoffs. It's 4 days if you're 4 games if you're fortunate to do it. But you don't want to pick games that you feel like they're going to be a confidence boost and all that stuff. You want to do that early, I think, when you're trying to build some winning tradition and a winning expectation. But right now, I think it's important for us to, to feel like, man, we got to be ready every week. I played in the Pac-10, so I'm familiar with the idea of like you got to get ready every week. And so I think it's important for our kids to step up their mindset too with that.
When we got the league schedule, or the league teams, I should say, the league teams for the Sunbelt League, which you guys moved up from the Inland Valley to the Sunbelt League.
Yep.
We just talked about the non-league games, but then you got Hemet North, Paloma Valley, and Valley View.
Yeah.
Like there's no nights off for Orange Vista this year.
Really good coaches, man, and really good programs. Some traditional programs in North, man. Is Hemet, those are some really good. Valley View coming off of a big run a couple years ago, and Barledge does a good job there, man. Paloma Valley coaches, man, they're doing a great job. So I think for us, man, that was part of the reason why we stepped up our non-league is to prepare us for a tougher league, So
did you find that out like early on, like as a young coach, like you said, could you go 5-0 in non-league and build up this, I don't know, this false sense of confidence, like, oh, we're pretty good, and then you go up against a real team and get smacked? Was there a point in your coaching career like, okay, that's not going to work? You got to schedule some big boys on that non-league.
Yeah, honestly, it happened to us last year when we lost to North, the league championship. We weren't prepared for the physicality. Those guys, like I said, hats off to the coaches and stuff, but we just weren't ready for that competition, and so I think that we needed to be battle tested a little bit more and stuff. So yeah, it happened recently where I was like, we had a pretty good non-league schedule, and some of the teams are trying to build up and trying to do their thing, I think it didn't help us going against North to kind of when they got in our face, it wasn't good. So
yeah, they had some big dudes too. They had some big physical guys on that North team.
Kids I'm familiar with. So
So you battled North for the league title, and I'll bring up the Adelanto game in the playoffs, and obviously it ended not the way anybody wanted to see it in that forfeit. But was there a learning experience, especially for your returning players, that you could say, guys, listen, this is not how we do business? So were you able to use that as a teaching moment?
Yes, definitely, and we talked about it afterwards. I think moving forward, I've got to do a better job of prepping our kids for those highly emotional games and very charged games, even though it ended up being a blowout and they were blowing us out, but it was still from the year before they beat us in the championship, and it was a very charged up game environment and stuff. So just prepping the kids that like we have to be able to play hard and have to be tough and stuff without all the side nonsense that goes on. And there was a lot of it that game. And like I said, I take the credit for that. And it's definitely, as a new head coach, man, definitely a learning experience for me to prep your kids for all situations. Because really, not to try to justify it or anything, but most of our kids that were involved in that were stepped off the sideline to help pull kids back, and it wasn't like a team brawl that it was made out to be, but the visual of it is bad. And also CIF rule is if you put 1 foot during that, during a confrontation, if you put 1 foot off the sideline, then there's a problem, and so definitely a learning experience, and like I said, we process with it, and the kids that are in the program now that still, that experience that and stuff, I think it's a lifelong lesson for them, and definitely a lesson moving forward in football. But I'm proud of our kids, man. They did a good job, and they understand. I think the kids understand the problem with what happened last year, and you just move forward in life,
Well, you guys have had a ton of success in a short amount of time at Orange Vista, a couple of great playoff runs, of course. How's your athletic director? Is he supportive of the football program?
Yes. So we did Bobby Caldwell, who was our athletic director from the start of the school opening. He decided to retire maybe a year or two earlier than he had planned, and so my brother Eric was planning on applying for that position once he retired, but then once the position came up, he felt like he should do it right now, because when you get another person in there, and he wants to be with his big brother, and he wants to be, at Orange Vista and stuff, so he just went ahead and applied for it and got it, and he's busy, he's doing a good job. And,
I'm sure he's going crazy right now, right? Just trying to schedule everything.
Yeah, he's every day he's just learning. He says other ADs are very supportive of, he'll call him and stuff, and he says they're really supportive and give him good information and stuff, and so he appreciates that from the ADs. But yeah, he's busy right now.
You know, we were talking off camera how the challenges of being a high school athletic director right now. And then, you know, if you're not familiar with the Rain Cross Conference, in the conference, the leagues are different for every
competitive
sport.
Equity,
It's not the same. It's not like, you know, you go to, let's say, the Southwestern League, you know exactly which teams are in your league.
For every sport.
For every sport. In the Rain Cross, it's different. I can only imagine. Eric's probably like, oh man, you got to watch all those little small details and make sure everything's going to fit together like a puzzle.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is they're already talking about doing the league again because it happens every year. So they gotta start planning for that. When they re-league, it's something that they do like a year in advance. So we're looking at, you know, this spring we'll be looking at doing the league again. So it's kind of crazy.
It's funny you bring that up because I talked to another athletic director and they were having an issue in the Arrowhead Conference because there was not really a spring season. So they were trying to figure out the leagues for, let's say, for baseball and softball, but there were no league standings to base it off of. So
that's crazy.
There's so many hurdles. I'm praying for Eric. You know, over there.
Well, he appreciates
I know
that.
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Coach, you know, as we get ready for that first week of football, which would be January 8th, I mean, here we are in September. I know we still have several months, but what are you hoping the next couple of months look like? If you're optimistic, glass half full, what are you hoping it looks like the next couple of months to be properly prepared? You know, make sure time in the weight room, time to practice, all those different sorts of things to make sure your team's ready to go.
You know, I think like a lot of coaches, we're hoping that we can get our kids on campus as soon as possible. Of course, we're going to follow the health guidelines and go with what our leadership tells us to do. But the hope is that, you know, especially for football, that our kids have enough time to prepare for, you know, a football season, which is very challenging and demanding. For me, man, I think, you know, pretty soon we've got to start conditioning the kids. I would love to be in the weight room, but that sounds like the weight room is kind of a tough deal just because they're sharing equipment. And that's a big no-no when you're talking about trying to limit the exposure. And so for me, man, it just looks like our kids understanding that, you know, the time is condensed, and so that once we do say let's go, like we got to have a mindset that like, man, we're kind of you know,
step
behind.
on the gas.
Yeah, we got to kind of we're a little bit behind, so we got to really step on the gas and step it up and go.
You know, I'm looking at, again, going back to your non-league, you know, most of these are all like basically Inland Empire schools. So hopefully the school districts will be close in terms of when they return to practice. And so everyone kind of has that same amount of preparation time. But, you know, we had Ken Batdorf from Norta Vista and he came on the show and, you know, he was kind of laughing and joking, but he was serious saying, hey, our first opponent is Orange High School in Orange County. And they've already been practicing for a couple of weeks. Like that competitive, you know, juices are flowing. Like I got to be out there because we're falling behind. You feel that in a kind of a weird way?
Fortunately, I don't have a school on our schedule that's out of the area, so that's really good. We do have some San Bernardino County schools that we're going against, but not out of the area like Orange, you know, Orange County. And so my hope is that, yes, you know, to be fair to everyone, that we all kind of get together and everyone's on the same page, even though we're competing. Ultimately, we want the safety of the kids. That's our ultimate concern. So we don't want a school to be, you know, get that much of a head start, especially with football, because now those kids are a little bit better. Their bodies are physically prepared more, and so they can kind of do a little more damage, you know. And so yeah, my hope is that because we're local, that we'll you know, the
be very similar.
Yeah, to be the same kind of timeline. Although I'm hearing that Marietta district, Temecula, and Hemet, that they're scheduled to start their conditioning in 2 weeks. So I think
there's
you know,
Hemet right there.
Yeah. And so you know, and so we got to kind of see, you know, what it is we're trying to do, you know. So you know, because they're starting on September 14th, and also I think like Riverside and Corona
and Norco,
they're all
starting
October
up.
1st. So they're projected to start a month before we come back on camp. Well, we're projected to go, you know, cross our fingers.
Yeah, who knows?
We're
Yeah, but
projected to
hopefully.
go November 2nd. So yeah, I just want to, you know, kind of keep up, you know, if we can, and you know, and of course the safety of the kids is of the ultimate concern. But yeah, we want to, you know, and the kids need it. The coaches need it. I'm going crazy. And I'm sure other coaches are going crazy too. So my wife is, you know, she's on me like, man, don't do something with your time. And so I'm like, I don't know. Football has been my time for, you know, forever. So, and so, yeah, the kids need it. I miss a lot of the stuff that, just the kids and just the relationships and being on the field together and being in the weight room, watching film, and, you know, just what comes with being a part of a sport like football is the ultimate, what I think is the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just crazy to be solo, you know, try to do the Zoom stuff with the kids and stuff where, you know, I'm thinking, you know, let's work out in the garage and stuff, but that stuff doesn't, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. These kids need to be in each other's face and be able to tell jokes to each other and, you know, fight with each other.
Like you said, that camaraderie, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Being around a team.
Stuff. So hopefully, you know, we get it going soon, you know, so not just physically, but mentally the kids need it, you know, so.
Coach, do you find yourself maybe just even sitting at home feeling like, I want to do something, like I'm going to drop a new play today. Like I feel like I want to do at least something to get ready for the season. I'm going to think about, you know, maybe we go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, or maybe I'm going to drop a new offensive play, or I'm going to do this, or we're going to have a new logo next season. Like, do you feel like you're just always thinking about something, just kind of push the program forward? Because I don't know, I feel stagnant. I'm sure there's coaches feeling stagnant too.
Yeah,
like
stagnant's not even the word. but yeah, it is. I think I push those thoughts away because I know how obsessive I am, and I know that if I start that process of like watching film and stuff, because I'm a film hog. Like it's like I don't watch TV during football season, so I know if I start going along that path, that then all it's going to do is kind of frustrate me that we're not preparing for a game next week or in 2 weeks or even in a month. You know? So I kind of push those thoughts back sometimes. You know, when I start thinking about new plays and watching video and stuff, and kind of give, you know, my family a break from that.
I'll say your wife would probably be like, do you really need to start watching Redlands film? Like it's September 2nd. Do you really need to watch the Terriers?
Exactly. That's what will happen. So, you know, we just gotta relax and, you know, go to the beach. I've been in the beach more times in this year than, you know, probably in my life. But, you know, we go out of town. We try to, you know, get away and stuff and try to get to some open land, you know, water, and, you know, we go to the river and stuff. So try to relax and just accept that, you know, it's out of our control, and you know, and try to reflect on what's going on and try to make it better, you know, but not go crazy. Dwelling on what we don't have.
Well, of course you'd want to be on a football field, but at least make the most of it. Hey, you know what? Our hands are tied. We can't be out there anyways, so might as well, you know, do home projects, take your wife to the beach, do those different things, you know, at least do something positive out of it. Coach, it's always great to see you.
Yeah, man. Pep, I love you, man.
Dude,
I'm thankful to have
you in here.
Yeah, man.
You always come correct. I love talking football. And give your mom a big kiss from me on the cheek, and tell Eric I'm praying for him. Because being an AD, especially a first-year AD, this is probably the worst.
Yeah, he'll appreciate that. He'll appreciate the support stuff. It's everybody's been supportive of him, man. He's a likable guy, so you know, people really, you know, they really support him and they're rooting for him and stuff. So, you know, he's got help. So. Cool.
It's good seeing you, Coach.
All right, thank you, man. Good seeing you.
That's Greg Zomalt, head football coach for Orange Vista High School, joining us live in studio, socially distanced here in our studio. Good having him talking some football. When we come back, Cullen Holt live from Wyoming when we come back on the Inland Sports Show.
This is Alexander Madison. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team. Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
Spoiled in Riverside. Just opened up our new location off the 91 in Arlington and Riverside. Come check us out and get spoiled for a change.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
Inland Sports.
The big college football news, guys, is that the NCAA, the college football playoff committee, came out and said, okay, the national championship game for college football is January 11th in Miami. And yes, there will be a Rose Bowl in Pasadena January 1st. That will be a national semifinal. And yes, the Sugar Bowl is the other national semifinal. So if you're the Pac-12 and these other conferences who said we're not playing football this fall, the college football committee came out and said, oh no, not only are we playing, we're going to have playoffs, we're going to have bowl games, and we will have a national championship January 11th in Miami. Mark it down.
How weird is it going to be to have a Rose Bowl game in here and the Pac-12 can't even play? I mean, I'm from a Pac-12 school. It is Washington State, I understand, but that sucks.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I was rapping with Cullen Hull off camera here. He is live from Wyoming as we talk more high school football. You know, he was such an integral part of our Inland Sports family. And he said, Pep, I got to follow the football. And he took it all the way up to the great state of Wyoming, which I was trying to remember. What's Wyoming's like state motto? Or, you know, like California is the Golden State. Is Wyoming like the Cowboy State? What is it?
It's the Cowboy State, Pep Fernandez.
So, Cullen, you already did a live broadcast of a high school football game out there. I'm very, very jealous. How was it?
It was great. We did a scrimmage with the defending 2A state champs here in the Cowboy State, the Mountain View Buffaloes, and they looked really good. So we're ready to get the season started.
So 2A, is that like the largest, like the biggest, the best division, or is there one above it or below it?
Now, every state has to classify their schools differently, so we can't keep track. The way that Wyoming does it is 4A is the biggest, and then 3A, 2A, and 1A, and then they also have 6-man football.
So that 2A team, Mountain View, pretty good. I was texting you because I watched some of it, and I was like, who does this team remind you of? Like, if you were going to compare like one of like a state champion from the state of Wyoming to an Inland Empire team, watching it, I asked you, I'm like, they kind of look like a Heritage to me, like a big, strong, physical team. Like, what would you say? What's that talent level that you're seeing up there?
Let's just say a Heritage Mountain View matchup would be a good one, and it would be very competitive. And it's interesting out here because they divide the schools up by school size. So you will get maybe state champions in a lower class that are better than the state champions in a higher class just because they have more talent, and they don't divide it up like we do in California with that competitive equity. They divide it up just by school size. And so Mountain View might be a smaller school, but man, they're one of the best teams in the Cowboy State. And yeah, I think they would match up with Division II, Division III schools in California really nicely.
Yeah, that'd be like saying Mater Dei and Bosco, which probably don't have a huge school size, would be like in the smaller divisions, which is, you know, insane here in California, I guess, at least. But doing high school football up there in Wyoming, and here we are in California, and we're waiting until January 8th, which would be the first Friday of high school football down here. Do people appreciate it? Do they know that outside of Wyoming and some of these other places, like there's places that we don't have football? It's so hard, man. Times are hard here in the Inland Empire.
Yeah, man, we're just sitting up here in our Wyoming mountains just looking down on all you guys laughing. No, I'm just kidding. Every single coach I've talked to, they all say the same exact thing. They say, we are so grateful to be playing because we know there are a lot of states that aren't as lucky as we are. So,
are there any restrictions or modifications that you've noticed from like the broadcast booth? Like, you know, are coaches having to wear masks on the sideline? You know, do they keep the teams like socially distanced, like no handshaking? Like, paint a picture for us. Does football kind of look different right now?
Yeah, the whole 9 yards, masks in the huddle, longer timeouts they're doing out here to let the guys go because they have to get their own water bottles. Everyone brings their own water bottle. So you won't see, the water team running out there squirting water in people's mouths. Here was a weird one that I noticed just the other day. We had a volleyball game. The teams don't switch sides every set. They stay on the same side throughout the whole match.
Oh, that is interesting because usually between sets you go to the opposite side, but I guess to reduce the spread or contamination of, the chairs or whatever they might touch, right? They're keeping them separated?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, trying to minimize as many contact with surfaces as possible. And like when they have volleyball tournaments, they have fans come in, limited amount of fans. And then once that match is over, the fans leave and people come in, they sanitize the entire place. And then another set of fans come in for a new game. So the tournaments and the duels, I guess they're calling them, have looked a lot different out here.
So for the football, I did see fans in the stands. Did they have a certain number of capacity that they would allow in instead of filling up the stadium?
Yeah, so the governor of Wyoming said 50% for outdoor sports. So whatever your stadium capacity is, you can do 50% of that. So some schools have brought in extra bleachers or whatever it might be to increase the full capacity, and then they do 50% of that. And everybody's got a social distance, and as long as you're social distancing, you don't have to wear a mask. But if you're within 6 feet of other people, they ask the fans to wear masks, and everybody has obliged thus far because they know how fragile this is and how important it is to have high school football.
Now, do you have your own broadcast booth, or are you wearing a mask to do play-by-play?
I have not yet encountered a school that has made me wear a mask during play-by-play. So luckily, when I'm up in the booth, I'm far enough away from everyone to where I can take it off, and I don't sound like this when I'm trying to talk on.
Old-timey Cullen Holt's like, is this a 1920s broadcast? Here he looks all muffled from the 3-yard line. So, Cullen, you're doing all high school sports now up in Wyoming. You mentioned volleyball. You mentioned football. What else will you be doing?
Well, this fall season, volleyball and football will be the main ones, but we're going to have some fun out here and really venture out. We've talked about maybe trying to do some live cross country, which I don't know. At the high school level, we're going to broadcast a couple swim meets live. So we're going to start to do some fun stuff, and that continues into the winter and spring as well. We'll have basketball and then also maybe some wrestling and whatever we can get our hands on.
Dude, that is amazing. You're going to do all those different sports up there. And we were talking, as we came back from commercial break, we were talking about, just the weather up there, the temperatures. You said you've got a nice big jacket because I'm sure by the time you hit the end of football season, dude, it's going to be really cold.
Well before I hit the end of football season. You know what? Someone told me the other day, they said, man, the kids out here, they know that if they don't get their first snowstorm by Halloween, then it always happens that first snowstorm comes on Halloween. And they said it like it was like this funny coincidence thing. And I'm just sitting there like, snowstorm? Halloween?
Cullen, finally, as we're talking high school football here and, at least here in the Inland Empire, I think high school football is so important. It's part of the fabric of our community. I've been a lot of different places, and high school football is always an important part of the town, the community, the area. Up there in Wyoming, I asked you about the Wyoming Cowboys, the college football team, the University of Wyoming. I'm like, hey, they're a big deal up there. And you're like, yeah, they are, but high school football is king, right? It's king everywhere. High school football is a huge deal, even where you're at, right?
You know those stories you hear about Faux High back in the glory days, and that whole Fontana would just shut down on Friday nights and everybody was at the game? It's a lot like that out here. I mean, the high school football games on Friday night are a big deal, and they're just a giant community event. And it's really special to be a small part of that, and the people have been so welcoming to me. And it's nice to be able to describe these games to people that hold the high school football dear, but maybe can't come to the games in person.
Well, Cullen, it's great to see your smiling face. I'm glad you're doing live sports right now. And again, I've given you one job, so don't come back to the IE until you've done this. You've got to find an IE connection to high school football in Wyoming. I'm sure there's going to be a coach whose brother was an assistant coach in Corona. I mean, there's got to be something. There's got to be some tie.
I'm trying, Pep. I'm trying. I met a coach that used to coach in Arizona. I met a coach whose parents were from Orange County. I'm getting close, Pep. I'm getting there. I'm really trying.
From Arizona to Orange County, the IE's it's going to be next. I can just feel it.
we're almost there. We're almost there.
Cullen Holt joining us live on the show. Cullen, take care. Great seeing you, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best to stay warm.
Good luck. That's Cullen Holt here on the Inland Sports Show, checking in, talking some high school football from the Cowboy State of Wyoming. One more commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up on the Inland Sports Show.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep, man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep, man. You guys rock.
Need an oil change? Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. Family owned and operated, they're committed to our community. There's 2 locations, so there's one close to you, off the 91 freeway at Arlington and off the 215 freeway at Alessandro. Oil changes are very important, so make sure you swing by. It only takes 10 minutes, and you can do a lot more than just have your oil changed. How about new wiper blades? How about an air filter? Plus many more services such as radiator and transmission. Find out more information at 2getspoiled.com. Don't wait. Get spoiled today.
What I think separates Boost from a lot of other performance gyms out there is really our attention to detail with our athletes. You know, we have small group sessions, whether it's speed or strength training, by CSCS coaches, so you're getting collegiate level coaches in small group setting, and it really gives us an opportunity to build an intimate relationship with our athletes, really make sure they're hitting their goals. You know, I know all my athletes by name. It's a real family-like environment. We're a tight-knit gym with expert coaching, but we like it that way because we want to ensure that all of our athletes are getting better, all of our athletes are moving forward. So it's definitely not easy. We push our athletes, we have fun, but if you're the kind of athlete that likes to be pushed and you want to get better, you care about results, you got to come check us out.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taken care of, whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. We have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time. And then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it, but we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Big show. Lots of high school football in this one. Again, if you're just joining us off the top of the show, some school districts already announcing when they will return to practice. Corona Norco, Riverside, they're saying October 1st. We're hearing some other school districts might even be before that. So it's happening, guys. We're all doing our part. We're wearing face coverings. We're social distancing. We're washing our hands frequently. And I think it's paying off. We're going to get high school football, so that's great. And I hope everyone out there is staying safe. I hope you're healthy and doing well. And we're going to have sports, and we're going to talk about it as we lead up into the high school season. And we'll have some volleyball and some other sports actually in December, and then high school football in January. Big thanks to Johnny Nunez, our director here at Teen Vision. TV 16 always does a fantastic job. We do appreciate it. And coming up next week, more high school football. In fact, we've got some big guests already lined up. I don't want to say it just yet, but if you follow Inland Sports on social media, you will find out soon enough. We're excited about next week's show. My name is Pep Fernandez. We'll see you again next Wednesday night, 6:05, first pitch with your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.